Hello, gorgeous, here we grow queens. This transmission is coming to you to open your floodgates of your wildest receiving. I'm feeling so lit and turned on and juiced up after our Expand to Thrive Wealth Mind call, where these women are just blowing my mind. And one of the things that we really dropped into that I want to share with you is this transmission around how your body gets to receive more than it's ever received when you give yourself permission to let life, spirit, Mother Earth, money, wealth flow into your life in higher and higher amounts as you feel your full spectrum humanness. So much of the way that we have been taught in society, in dominant systems of oppression to behave, to respond to life, to run a business, is to cut off certain parts of ourselves, to disconnect from the depth of your power, of your wisdom, of your body's ancient intelligence. And what that does over generations of time in your lineage is it makes it so that there's something that happens when you reach an upper limit with money, or with the number of clients that you're serving, or maybe with the number of offers that you have, right? So maybe you're already in this place right now where you have a really, externally appearing successful business. You have your dreamiest clients saying yes. You have your wildest, highest, juiciest prices that are selling out. You're just creating massive impact. Like the women inside of Expand to Thrive right now, some of these women inside of Wild Overflow, we've been having these really deep conversations around how to anchor in your nervous system what you've already created, what you've already received, what you've already allowed for, how these women are living, quite literally, dreams and prayers that they had for years. They're living in the embodiment of that now, in the manifestation of that now. But there's this part that hasn't felt safe or free or liberated enough to fully anchor in and land in the receiving of the goodness of that, the pleasure of that, the joy of that, the gratitude of that. And what that does on a somatic level is it keeps you somewhere else, right? It keeps you in a place where the future is being prioritized over the presence of your power in the now. And one of the ways that you get to expand your receiving and open the floodgates to your wildest receiving is by really letting it land and root into your nervous system right here, right now. All that you've already stepped into, all that you've already landed in, all that you've already created, all of the ways that you are showing up for yourself right now in the ways that you prayed for in the past, how you've already made it in the kinds of wild visions that you dreamed of before. That the way that you're leading yourself now, the way that you're leading your community, the way that you're serving your mission, the way that you are receiving money and circulating money and expanding the way that wealth is serving you in your legacy that you're leading, how all of that right here and right now, it gets to feel really good in your body for all that you're already holding right now. And what happens on a nervous system level is when you're fully present with all that you are already receiving right now, all that you've already created, all that you've built, all of the power that you've reclaimed in your body, in your voice, in your expression, in your presence, is it signals on a nervous system level, on an energetic level, to the world, to God, spirit, multiverse, to more of your dream clients, to wilder, higher, juicier flows of money, that you're open to receiving more. And the things that used to require a lot of effort and a lot of hard work, they become more easeful. And as we say inside of Here We Grow, as I say, this doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that there's an effortlessness to it, but it means that it takes a lot less effort than it used to. One of the transmissions that was coming through for one of my Wealth Mind clients, it was so potent inside of Expand to Thrive today, is how her ability to be able to shift into, to alchemize the old avoidant responses that used to happen in the body is happening now at quantum record speed, right? Like the ways that your body or your system might have in the past become really numb, or maybe activated, or felt dissociated, or felt disconnected from a higher, juicier, wilder flow of money, of clients, of impact, of service. Now, those shifts and that alchemy work and that expansion work, it can take a day, a few days, less than a week of what used to take you, let's say, many days or weeks or months to get to be in a new depth of your richness, of your power, of your wild overflow. And we've been really anchoring inside of Expand to Thrive, inside of Wild Overflow Wealth Mind, in this wild overflow state in a whole new way. And how the women inside of these spaces, I'm thinking of one of the queens that we went really, really deep with inside of Expand to Thrive today, where she's already so successful, just brilliant and remarkable in the work that she's creating in the world. How in the past, those tendencies to disconnect from her full depth of agency, of sovereignty, of being in her body would have prevented her from receiving, right? Higher flows of money, juicier impact and clients, and getting to be in that expression online. But now, through this work and through continuing to be consciously and intentionally choosing the wild overflow state, the aliveness that is coming to her body from those parts that used to feel numb, that used to feel disconnected, that were just parts that were desensitized, like in the coming alive of those parts, in this activation and in this expansion of this wild feminine energy in her being, the direct shifts are translating in her work, in her impact, in the clients that she's calling in the kind of offers that she is selling, in the prices that actually feel the most aligned with the quality and the depth of the transformation that she creates for her community, right? And this is the thing about the continual practice of consciously choosing to be in the wild overflow state, because your body right now, it's operating in what it feels the most comfortable with, in what it is the most familiar with, because it's existed for the longest period of time. And for so many of us, because of the way that toxic capitalism and colonialism and patriarchy exists within dominant society, it's programmed your body to be disconnected from pleasure or to be disconnected from receiving as your normal baseline. But when you shift your baseline by putting in the effort, putting in the time, putting in the conscious intention to plug in to spaces and be with yourself and work with your body and rewire your nervous system to be in that state of wild overflow, the state where you are allowing yourself to receive all of the goodness, all of the joy, all of the magic, all of the gratitude, all of the power of who you are right now, of all that you are creating right now, of all that you are capable of right now, and acknowledging all of what has led you to be here right now, you continue to open up to wilder and wilder and wilder receiving capacities. And this is what we say inside of my Wild Overflow Wealth Mind, inside of Expand to Thrive, our mini mind right now. This is when we say the floodgates open. This is when the clients in my world, like they start to experience those kinds of external results, like having their wildest, juiciest cash days, cash weeks, and months, and serving the most clients I've ever had in a way that feels more easeful than ever before, it becomes the new baseline in the wild overflow state, the state where it feels more pleasurable and easeful. So you can be having the same actions that you're taking, the same strategies, the same, tactics and whatnot, but be creating extraordinarily different results if your nervous system is not in the wild overflow state. When you're in the wild overflow state, your body actually gets to feel turned on in your service, and it feels like it's giving you even more life. Especially, when you're already successful, you're making these big wild moves, you're taking all of these revolutionary actions, you're showing up so big, the nervous system naturally goes through contractions. It goes through these contractions that for a lot of people, those contractions are setbacks. They make people lean back. They make people revert into old behaviors, into old activation responses, right? And this is where a lot of the time when, wilder flows of money, so it doesn't even matter the income, whether it's, 50K, 100K cash months, whether it's 10K, it doesn't matter so much the flow. But when it feels like it's an overload to the system, or when it feels like it's heavy, or it feels like a lot, or it feels like too much to receive in the body, when it feels like too much to receive in the body, there's two pathways that typically happen. One, the contraction leads to the lack of the ability to be able to hold that much goodness, that much pleasure, that much wealth, that much resourcing, that much support. And then it'll either collapse, it'll shut down, or old activated responses will happen. Or what happens when you anchor in the wild overflow state as a space that you continue to deepen in and to grow in, which is what happens inside of my world, inside of my intimate proximity spaces. It's happening inside of 15 to Wild Overflow, which I cannot wait for, is that your body, it actually feels more safe and free and liberating. Like, I can hold this and I can keep on receiving. I can hold this, I can keep on receiving. I can hold this, I can keep on receiving. Receiving from that place of spaciousness, of trust in your capacity to hold more from the place of wild overflow, and to hold more in a way that is pleasurable, where in your expanded receiving, you serve your community, you serve your clients, you create impact that is at a whole new level, because you're actually being energized. You're being so incredibly resourced with all of the ways that you're allowing for money to support you in. So the floodgates open. You're like, I can receive this too, and I can receive this too, and I can receive this too. I can receive this client, and I can receive this flow of money, and I can receive this form of support. I can receive this, mentorship. I can receive this, massage, this bath, this trip, this, like, all of these different ways that you've been unconsciously cutting yourself off from receiving because it didn't feel safe in the past. You open the floodgates and you realize that there's a whole new level that you get to be operating within. And this happens with the consistency of devotion to calibrating your nervous system to have wild overflow as the state baseline, the baseline of your body being open and spacious and juicy in continuing to receive more than you've ever received in the past, because in the past it didn't feel accessible, it didn't feel safe, and it cut you off from your pleasure, or it cut you off from the feelings of aliveness in your body. And this is what we're going to be diving into inside of 15 to Wild Overflow, where it's 15 minutes for 15 days of deep, potent, daily transmissions, and more than weekly calls, because we have at least 3 calls during this experience together, And in our 15 to Wild Overflow Wealth Expansion Portal, I'm going to be guiding you to calibrate to this state in your nervous system, in your juiciest receiving capacity, to open the floodgates of your wildest receiving in a way that feels the most easeful and pleasurable it's ever felt before in your body, in your life, in your business, in your leadership, and specifically with money, by rising beyond the edges of the resistance of where it has felt like in the past you've cut off the receiving because of the old programming, the old stories, the old patterns, and we're calibrating your nervous system into a whole new level of your expanded receiving capacity. And so 15 to Wild Overflow starts very soon, but right now the pre-party is already open. I've dropped a fire-ass transmission inside of our pre-party channel, and the VIP space is popping. Today was our first spontaneous Q&A day, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing these throughout our time together. Our transmissions in the VIP channel are just fucking phenomenal. They will change the game for you. And so this week, on Thursday, is our first VIP call for 15 to Wild Overflow, where I am going to be giving hands-on, personalized nervous system support to be expanding your receiving capacity with clients, with money, in a way that feels easeful and pleasurable and life-giving in your business, so that right here, right now, this week, in July, you can already level the fuck up in how you are allowing yourself to receive in a wilder overflow in your leadership, in your business, in your impact, in the legacy that you are leading. And the VIP queens inside of this space are phenomenal. I absolutely love and adore every single one of the powerhouses that rise into VIP. So if you're a VIP queen, definitely join today to be able to drop into our spontaneous Q&A day that's today, with all of the transmissions in there that are just going to just massively expand your body, your capacity, your nervous system, as you allow yourself to receive more and deep support from me in that way. And then our first VIP call is Thursday, and we have VIP calls every week inside of this experience where there's going to be that hands-on support. And then August 1st is when we officially start with the daily transmissions, but I've already been dropping because this portal feels so big and powerful. I've been dropping transmissions as they've been flowing through me. So when you join today, you'll already be able to drop into the bonus transmissions that I've put inside of the space. So there's the pre-party transmission, and you can start taking the actions and start implementing the material in the wealth work. Some of you have already been showing up for that, and it's been so beautiful to watch you rise. And those live inside of our regular Telegram space. And then in the VIP space, I've been dropping transmissions and activations and expansions for you to get to deepen and expand in that work and already begin to let yourself receive right now in a whole new way, in a revolutionary rich way. I'm collapsing time in a super potent 15-day portal for you to get to expand what might have taken you years or months or weeks in literally 15 days. And during the pre-party, it's more than 15 days, depending on how soon you join. If you join right now, I don't know, I think it's over 21 days or something like this. And I've been absolutely adoring all of the women that are inside of that space. And our Expand to Thrive calls have just been out of this world. The shifts and the expansions that are happening, these women, they're liberating lineages worth of old programming and old stories around money, around wild feminine reclamation, and really stepping into a whole new level of their leadership in the offers that they're creating and the people that they're welcoming into their world, living just these dreams that they've had for so long. And we're really just getting started in that container. It's a mini mind space. So it is a shorter space than a long-term wealth mind. So you get to step in if you're ready to commit for this next month. We have a month left of those weekly calls and support inside of the Expand to Thrive mini mind, wealth mind, and you can join that space today and still get to receive the weekly hands-on personalized support in that space as well as all of the wealth minding that's happening inside of our private Telegram. So you can DM me, expand to join, expand to thrive mini wealth mind, and you can DM me, receive to join us in 15 to Wild Overflow and get in on all of the pre-party magic and all of the juiciness. And then if you're ready to rise into VIP, you can just upgrade at the checkout and you'll immediately get access to our VIP Telegram with just fire ass transmissions and be able to join us live for our VIP call this Thursday. So I'm so excited to continue to support you to open the floodgates of your juices receiving capacity with your body, with your nervous system, so that money and wealth get to feel juicier and more easeful than ever as you expand your capacity to not only receive in higher flows, but to hold it in a way that turns you the fuck on and that makes you feel alive and so deeply, intimately connected with your body and your spirit and your soul and your mission and your legacy and the movement that you are leading. So I cannot wait to see you inside of those spaces. And we are just getting started with our explosion season that we are in right now. It's just the beginning, just the beginning.